Buenos dias, mi amigos. I'm going to get some steps right now, and I figured I would take you guys with me. I put out a video just the other day talking about how I'm in Cabo with my wife and we're on vacation. And I had a couple people reach out congratulating me on vacation and also asking me some questions. So I figured I'd do a video about that just to give you guys a rundown of how my trip has been so far in Cabo in 2021. So let's get into it. So just in case you guys, don't make the connection, kind of like me, sometimes I don't make connections until like I'm physically somewhere or doing something. Cabo, right? I might have known this, but until you actually get to a place, you might not know. Again, Cabo is another country, right? You're in Mexico, right? So this is a very interesting experience for me. And even though Cabo is technically, I think, considered to be an expat community or largely an expat community, it is still another country. You know what I'm saying? So you're seeing a lot and you're doing a lot of things that even though, let's talk about the streets not being paved like they are in New York, in the United States, right? It's another country. You're in another country. And as you saw, I almost just broke my neck because there was no sidewalk. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of my experience. I'm going to go through the stuff that I've been seeing and some of the things that I've experienced so far. And I'm also going to try to do that in a more quiet environment because it's a little noisy over here. Check this out. Man, glad I didn't fall into that. Look at this whole entire collapsing sidewalk. This is in one of the most richest areas in Mexico. So right now I'm just walking on the side of the highway, getting some steps, trying to find a more quiet spot to talk to you, but I just figured I'd give you the view. Like I said, until you're in Mexico, I mean, maybe there's a lot of you who've been to Mexico, but until you're in Mexico, you don't really know what to expect. You might think one thing, but you're getting something else. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to give a good idea of what you can see here. All right, so I ducked into a Walmart parking lot. It's like a plaza. So there's a bunch of stuff over here, including a Walmart. And so I ducked into the parking lot pretty much so I could get a little quiet because I was just kind of walking on the side of the highway. And downtown where I was headed, it would have just been too noisy on the way there. So I figured I'm only looking to get steps in. I'm not looking to explore too much right now. So it doesn't matter where I'm walking. I can talk to you guys from anywhere as long as it's a little more quiet. So this is a little bit better. I wanted to talk to you guys about my experience. So far, it's been very interesting because, again, maybe you guys have been to Mexico, maybe you haven't. If you haven't, maybe this will help. Even if you have, maybe you haven't explored outside of, like, let's say, a resort area. So maybe this would give you guys some insight. And again, this is considered an expat community, Cabo, right? But it's still very much another country. So it's not as Americanized as you might think. In certain respects it is, and certain respects it isn't. I haven't been here too long, but I figured I would just document and share with YouTube my experience, and maybe it'll give you guys some insight. So my wife and I took a Delta flight over here. Delta, when compared to American Airlines, absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. The service was horrible. The accommodations were horrible. Everything was horrible. I mean, I made a list of reasons why Delta, because they asked me on the flight, they asked me first, would I do a survey? I'm going to do a survey for sure. And that survey is going to outline every single thing that I have a problem with as far as Delta goes. But American Airlines is far superior, in my opinion, to Delta. So if you can somehow get maybe an American Airlines flight here. I don't know if they come here. I don't know what the deal is with that. But if you're able to do that, I would say definitely get an American Airlines flight if you have the choice between that and a Delta, because Delta was just horrible. Horrible in so many respects. On the flight, you end up having to fill out 3 forms. Now, this is July 2021. I don't know when you guys are seeing it. This is July 2021. We had to fill out 3 forms. The first form on the flight, right? Now, Delta, they don't give you pens because of coronavirus, right? But meanwhile, you're on their flight, you're drinking their food, you're drinking their drinks, you're eating their food, but they don't give out pens to sign the paperwork. So you got to share pens amongst the other passengers. Glad to say my wife had some pens with us. The first form is if you're declaring anything, if you're bringing any food, any type of anything into the country from the United States into the country, they want you to fill out on paper what that is. So you're basically declaring, this is what I'm bringing. They don't really want fruits, vegetables, any type of fresh food. They don't want anything like that. Chemicals, anything like that. You have to talk about, you have to tell them about it, give them a big heads up, and I don't know, they'll determine whether or not you're allowed to bring that in. The second form is each person needs to fill out a single form talking about whether they've been exposed to COVID-19 or not. And then the family head, so the one person within for that whole family needs to fill out a second form for the entire family. Every individual is going to have to fill out one COVID-19 form, and then the family head is going to have to fill out another COVID-19 form. These forms were not difficult to fill out. They were very easy. The paperwork, it was written in Spanish and in English, so you could read it. It was no problem. Once we got off the plane, it was very interesting. We got to the airport. It was very organized, considering it's Mexico and we don't speak Spanish. There were many people who were able to help us. A lot of the signs were in English as well as Spanish, so that was helpful. We walk out of the gates, right? And I think we just picked our bags up, and we have this really nice guy come up to us and say, hey, welcome, what car company are you taking? So he's got a badge on, and we just told him, yeah, we're taking, Almo, that's who we booked with. He's like, okay, come over here, to my counter. So we're following him, and we're thinking the guy works for the airport. Very official, very kind, very nice. Turns out the guy doesn't work for the airport. The guy's a promoter, okay? What we end up finding out is he's promoting a hotel. The hotel is called Pueblo Bonito, right? Pueblo Bonito. So that's what he's promoting. He's there to get people who first come off the plane to sign up for a presentation, what they call a presentation. Sign up for a presentation at the Hotel Pueblo Bonito. So the guy tells me, he says, hey, we have a great deal on all these activities, jet skiing, ATVs, boat rides, all this stuff, right? He's like, we got great deals on them. All you got to do is spend an hour and a half of your time tomorrow, in the morning, 9:30. I'll pick you up at your hotel. I'm going to take you to another hotel, and it's going to be an hour and a half of your time basically listening to a presentation. There's no obligations. You don't have to pay anything. We're going to give you breakfast, as much food as you want. So they're basically getting you to listen to this presentation. And the whole point of this presentation is the Hotel Pueblo Bonito, right? They want your business. They're looking to try to get you to invest in properties. Now, I've never heard of anything like this. I didn't even know who this guy was. I mean, once I realized what was going on, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. They're promoting a hotel. They're going to give you discounts on certain activities in the area, whether you go with their program or not, whether you buy anything from them or not. They're giving you these discounted activities and stuff like that. So I thought, okay, that's cool. My wife likes activities. I really don't care for them too much. I mean, I'll find stuff to do. But let me tell you, we ended up taking getting gift certificates, right? They're referred to as certificates. We ended up getting gift certificates for ATVs, for a boat ride, and for jet skiing. So it was cool, you know. We got that stuff, and we're thinking, okay, yeah, it's only gonna be an hour and a half of our time. They're feeding us breakfast, so my wife is super happy. You know, my wife loves free breakfast and stuff. So we're thinking, okay, you know, this is interesting. The guy seems nice. It seems legitimate. No problem. So let me tell you guys, if you walk off that plane and these people come up to you and they're like, hey, you know, we got these gift certificates, and you know, you're gonna get this amazing price, because you're talking about like hundreds of dollars off with the certificates. So you're paying like, I forget the exact amount, but like $20 or $30 per activity. When meanwhile, the activity would cost like hundreds of dollars American if you were not to go with their program. So in that sense, it's good. But let me tell you, it's not an hour and a half. It's not an hour and a half. It was a nightmare. I would go back and pay every single penny for those activities if I could. I would never have taken the activities. Guys, it's not worth the presentation. Yes, they feed you breakfast. They take you to this gorgeous hotel, right? 9:30 a.m. in the morning on your vacation. They take you to this gorgeous hotel, beachfront property, palm trees on this huge mountain. They're looking to impress. And it could be impressive. I'm not impressed too easily. I get impressed with things that many other people probably wouldn't get impressed with. So this type of stuff doesn't impress me too much, but they're looking to impress you, to have you buy properties. That's what the presentation is about. They're looking to get you to spend money, okay? And so they're feeding you breakfast, all the food you want, beautiful hotel on a balcony. They link you up with one of these promoters. When you get to the hotel, you see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, maybe even 1,000 other United States citizens over there who are doing the same thing as you. They basically catch you at the airport. They entice you with all of these discounts on activities, free food, and they get you in. They hook you in. It's like, you know, they're going fishing. They get their catch and then they take you to a hotel. So what was my experience like with this presentation? It was horrible. It was horrible. You're not spending an hour and a half. You're there for like 4 hours, okay? And this place was relentless, okay? I listened to the guy's spiel. He's talking about how you should be buying property with us because it's going to be good for your vacation. It's not a timeshare. You're buying a property. And guys, I'm not getting into all the details. I am going to tell you, however, I've never experienced something like this before, where somebody's trying to like sell you something, but it was like being at a used car dealership. At first, the price for a property, right, was something like $79,000 for like, you know, one of the options. And then when you say no to that, they go down to something along the lines of, okay, well, we're going to discount it further. They keep dropping the cost. I was there for hours, guys, and I was like, listen, I've had enough. I'm good. We're not going to do anything. We listened to what you said. We were considering it. We talked about it. It's nothing that I want to do. It's nothing I'm interested in. So what happens? The first guy, the guy was visibly upset. When I told him that we're not going to buy anything, he was visibly upset. Like, you know, there's something wrong when somebody's visibly upset. When a salesperson is visibly upset. Like, this guy was pissed off that I did not purchase this thing with him. The guy was relentless. That was the first guy. Then I think I'm leaving. He's like, okay, you know, you're gonna regret it though, but you know, come get your your certificate so you could go, you know, have your gifts for listening to the presentation. Let's go get your certificates. He hands me off to somebody else. I think that second guy is gonna end up giving me my certificates, right? Stupid me. It's another sales presentation. Can you believe they put me with a second salesperson? They sat me and my wife down. We think that we're getting out of there finally after these hours of being there. But no, it's a second guy who sweetens the deal even more than the first guy. Okay, guys, Pueblo Bonito, watch out for them, okay? I'm not telling you that they're bad. I'm not telling you that they're liars. I'm not telling you that they're not gonna give you what they're saying they're gonna give you. But I can tell you that if you Google them, which I did later on, you're gonna see a whole bunch of stuff that's probably gonna make you not wanna go with them if you get approached by one of these promoters, okay? The promoter himself was nice. But once they get you through the hotel gates, it's like they are relentless, beating you over the head with these propositions. It's like they're told, do not let this guy out of the room unless he buys something. So anyway, the second guy, he's throwing these deals at us, and me and my wife are like, no, you know, we've already sat through this. It's a much better deal than the first one, even though the first guy said, you're never gonna get a better deal than this. Somehow there was a better deal with the second guy, right? And so we say, no, we're good. You know, we'll think about it, but we're good. Oh, but you can only purchase it today at this price. We're good then, don't worry about it. What happens? Finally getting ready to leave, that guy leaves. He says, all right, I'm gonna go get your certificates, and you know, then you can get out of here and enjoy your vacation. So we're sitting there waiting. A third sales rep comes up. This time it's a young, attractive woman. It's like the old guy in the beginning, he didn't work, so let's send a younger, suave guy to take his place and try to get them to go with him. And when that guy doesn't work, let's get a young, beautiful woman to come in. She tried also. And at that point, I was like, listen, I can't believe you're doing this. You're the third person. You said it was going to take an hour and a half, and now we're sitting at like 4 hours in this friggin' place. Get out of my face. I tried to be nice about it, but I really wasn't. I was like, basically, get out of my face. Give me what I was told I was going to get. I'm never coming back here. Guys, it was horrible. Don't get enticed at the airport. If someone comes up to you and you think that they work for the airport or something like that, and you're in Mexico or another country or whatever, don't just, you know, ask questions, ask where they are, don't get roped in, don't get enticed. In my opinion, guys, do a little research and you'll find out whether or not this is a good idea for you. I'm not telling you to go with, you know, their properties or not. I'm not, because I've never used them. I have no idea. Maybe they're legit. Maybe they're legit. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people online who are very unhappy with their services, who got roped in like I could have gotten roped in. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. It's a really strange approach, but it could definitely trick a lot of people. And if you're not wary to it, it can end up causing you to get yourself involved with something you don't want to get involved with. I would pay the hundreds of dollars for the activities. Full cost. I would never go back to something like that. They were relentless. They went down from like a property from $79,000 down to like $2,000. It was used car dealership, like straight out of the book. It was horrible. So not only did they waste my time, you end up going to these activities. Not only do the activities, they might be covered by what they gave you, but when you get there, there's these upgrades that you probably have to do or want to do. You got to do insurance depending on what you're doing, like jet skis. You need insurance, stuff like that. So you're still spending hundreds. You know what I'm saying? You're still spending hundreds. Even if the activity itself, you get some kind of a discount, it's not worth it in my opinion. Just go with a plan. Know what you're looking at when you get out of the airport. And I would say just steer clear from that. I would stay far away from it. Definitely not worth your time. Definitely not worth your time. I'd rather spend the money, you know, a couple $100 extra for activities than try to get roped into some kind of a scam or whatever they're doing. Whether it's a scam or not, I can't say, but I'll tell you there's a lot of unhappy people that have gotten roped into that in the past. So that's the way I'll put it. Here in Cabo, there are a lot of people who speak decent English. You know, not everybody's gonna speak English and not everybody's gonna speak perfect English. You can get around for the most part. It's been very interesting. My wife and I have been studying Spanish for some time, so it hasn't been too terrible, but it's a very interesting experience. When you think of Mexico, you think of like resorts. The Hotel Pueblo Bonita that I was just telling you about, that's a resort. You think of those types of places when a lot of people think about, you know, Mexico, right? They're not on the streets. They're not like, you know, getting to know the area. My wife and I, we want to get to know the area. You know what I'm saying? Like we want to actually be in Mexico, not in a bubble filled with, you know, Americans. We'd like to see what's there. Like actually, you know, experience it. Not just from one end of the spectrum, you know, the rich bubble of resort type of an aspect. We want to see what it's like in general. So it's very much city-like. It's very city-like. You know, there's a lot of pollution, there's a lot of trucks, there's a lot of, you know, different crazy things that you might not know would be in Mexico. You know, you don't think of it. You don't really think of it. They have Walmart, so that's great. So there's tons of like American food. I'm vegan, so it hasn't been a problem finding food, even at restaurants. Restaurants are great. No problem at restaurants. Everybody can veganize something. You just have to know what to say. You know, no carne. I forget how to say lactose, no lactivos, something along those lines. The food's been outstanding. The people have been so loving and kind. It's been awesome. Amazing experience so far, getting to know the area and the people and everything that it has to offer. And keep in mind, this is an Americanized area. It's a less ethnic area than many of the other areas in Mexico. So keep that in mind. That's very interesting because this is still pretty ethnic, in my opinion. The weather has been incredible, okay? Very low humidity compared to the, New York, where I'm from, right? New York. Very low humidity. It's actually cooler here than it is in New York. Super humid in New York, super hot in New York. Over here it's been like 85 degrees, breezy. You might be able to hear the breeze, nice and breezy. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, very low humidity. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. No sunburns, I'm walking around without sunscreen. It's great, absolutely gorgeous weather. It's cool at night. Depending on, you know, the area that you're in, they have, you know, high-end restaurants, low-end restaurants, you know, street food. It's really, really cool. And I'm gonna be taking some clips as we go throughout our trip just to show you guys. Again, you know, this is not gonna be the most polished video when it comes to Mexico or Cabo. It's definitely not. You guys know my channel. You know, I'm not a polished YouTuber over here. But I just wanted to show you my experience. And I wanted to talk to you guys about that experience at the airport. That was important. You don't want to get roped into something. Keep that in mind, guys. They're going to come at you and they're going to be very polished at what they do. They're going to know how to speak. They're going to be very smooth. And they're going to try to get you to spend a lot of money. Keep in mind, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. If somebody's going to tell you that there's a property worth $79,000 and at the end of 3 people later, it's at like $2,000, there's something wrong there. And this was a reputable place. This is a legit place. Like the hotel's located on a huge mountain on a hill overlooking the beach. And I'm telling you, it can be enticing. But keep in mind, they're looking to sell you like 50-year property leases, 15-year property leases. Whatever you do, you can end up roping yourself into a problem for a really long time. So like I said, they have Walmarts here, they have stores here. Right now, Walmart is only allowing 1 person per family in because of COVID-19. Every place you go, whether it's a hotel, Walmart, a restaurant, which the restaurants are amazing, by the way. Every place you go, they're sanitizing your hands. That Hotel Pueblo Bonito I was telling you about, the place that I would highly not recommend you to invest in, that place actually has sanitizing booths. So you get into a booth and they spray you down with some kind of like sanitizer. I don't know. I didn't go in there. I was staying far away from that. I don't know what that stuff is. I don't know what the deal is, but there was a whole bunch of people doing it. So COVID-19 is present. Masks are very seriously taken here. You can't go anywhere without a mask. Once you're in a place or outside, you know, if you're outside in the general area, you know, that's a little bit better. But if you're around any people, you have to have a mask on. You have to be sanitizing your hands when you enter a place. They're very serious about that. So keep that in mind. You have to wear a mask on the whole flight. The whole flight. Any airline right now at this time, I don't know when you're watching this, but you have to wear a mask, which wasn't a problem for me and my wife because we got back from Hawaii not long ago. We had to do the same thing there. So, but they take the masks more seriously here than in the US. Much more seriously. The sanitizing, they take it much more serious here than anywhere in the US. It's crazy. So keep that in mind. So far, the driving over here, because we rented a car, So far, the driving here has not been bad. As far as the driving goes, stop signs don't exist. They're everywhere. Stop signs are everywhere. Nobody listens to them, so keep that in mind. You got, you know, signs for 40 kilometers. You know, like let's say it says 40 kilometers on the highway. You know, kilometers, it's not miles per hour here, it's kilometers. I think it's like about half, so if 40 kilometers, I believe, would be like 20 miles per hour. Guys, nobody's listening to the speed limit at the end of the day. Whatever that speed limit is, nobody's listening to it. You have stop signs that are there that they don't matter. You're basically driving, from what I can tell, you're basically driving, seeing what's around, and you are just simply adjusting to what is around you at the time. The roads, there's so many roads that are one-way streets that don't tell you that they're one-way streets. So the driving is different. Have I had a major problem yet? No, not really. I drive in New York. New York is a zoo. The only difference between Mexico and New York driving is the fact that Mexico doesn't really have as much signage. In New York, there's tons of signs, but no one listens to them, right? In Mexico, there's less signs, and even when there are signs, nobody listens. So it's basically like New York, except with less signs. But we haven't had a problem getting around. The area that we're in, I already know it. I don't even need my GPS for what we've been doing. I know how to get downtown, I know how to go to the restaurants, I know how to do this and that. Guys, I love not being in a resort. I love it. I don't want to be in a resort. The resort they showed us, it was like, in so many people's minds, I guess it would be breathtaking. I'm looking at it like, yeah, this is nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's on the beach, you see the palm trees, you're on hills and stuff. They're looking to just take your breath away with these resorts. But guys, I want to be in it. I want to know what Mexico is like. You know what I'm saying? I highly recommend it. Don't be scared. I highly recommend, if you're in Mexico, stay in a place that you can appreciate the culture. Stay in a place that you can meet people who speak Mexican, who speak Spanish. And I would say, don't feel confined to a resort. That's my opinion. I would say don't feel confined to like some fancy resort where you're tucked away in a bubble. You know what I'm saying? Like, enjoy what Mexico has to offer. You're not going to get that in a resort. As you guys might have guessed, alcohol is a huge thing over here in Mexico. Everybody drinks, no matter what time it is. Everybody's drinking. Everybody offers you drinks, but I haven't seen anybody belligerent unless they were not Mexicans. All of the people who come here, from what I can tell, they're here to get drunk, which, you know, that's what people do all over the world, to get drunk. But I haven't seen one drunk indigenous person here. They're drinking, but they're holding their liquor, they're calm, they're fine. I've seen a lot of people who are visitors here just belligerent and stupid. It's very interesting, the experiences that you get here. You could be in a restaurant and all of a sudden you have these guys come up to you. I forget what they're called. My wife knows. They'll come up to you. I have some clips that I'll show you in some later videos. They'll come up, they'll sing to you with their guitars, and I forget what it's called. That's just my experience so far, guys. I'm gonna have a couple more videos. Nothing crazy. You know, I'm not looking to like impress you guys with the videos. I'm just looking to kind of give you guys some information, because I thought maybe it would help somebody. You know what I'm saying? If you come here and you want to know what Cabo is like, what Mexico is like, and you've never been here before. You know, I haven't been here since I was a kid, so I wasn't an adult when I was here. So it's very interesting to see. It is, when you think of, I think when the average typical American thinks of Mexico, they either think of a third world country, or they think of beaches and, you know, palm trees and all this stuff. Guys, it's a mix of both. It's a mix of both, but largely it's more along the lines of just, I don't want to say a third world country, I don't want to say that, but it's more along the lines of that, and less of the beaches and less of the resorts and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see it as a third world country. I mean, they have Walmart, you know what I'm saying? At least in Cabo they do. So I think this place is fantastic. I love being here. The people have been so kind and loving. I love it here. The people here have been nicer than any people that I've ever met in New York. And half the time I'm talking to somebody and they don't even know what I'm saying, but they're just being nice. You know, they're being nice, they're being patient, they're being understanding. They're trying to help you to speak and learn the language. Strangers on the street, taking their time to speak to you, talk to you and help you learn their language. And it's a beautiful thing. So I've been having a great time. My wife's been having a great time. And I hope this video helps somebody. You know what I'm saying? It probably won't, because there's so many better videos out there, you know, regarding Mexico and traveling and stuff like that. And I'm over here talking to in a Walmart parking lot, but just to kind of keep the noise down. But I'm gonna try to get you guys some more clips of the experiences that we've experienced. I think it's been a very nice time so far, and honestly, I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home. It's been great. We've been having a good time, and we've been meeting a lot of nice people, and we've really been enjoying what this culture has to offer. And again, keep in mind, this is considered an expat community. So even in a community like this, you're still in another country. You feel like you're in another country, even though there's more Americans here than there would be anywhere else. You still feel like you are in another country, even though this is supposedly like one of the richest, you know, parts of Mexico, Cabo, right? One of the most expensive parts of Mexico. Your money still goes super far. I mean, as far as money goes, I forgot, I wanted to touch on that. As far as money goes, you're getting a ton for your money. I mean, meals that you would spend hundreds of dollars for in the US are costing like $40 and $50 here US. And even then, you're getting ripped off, because this is the expensive part of Mexico. If you were to pay in pesos, if you come to Cabo, you have the opportunity to pay for things in pesos or in American money. We went to a bank and we exchanged some money for pesos, right? So we can have the indigenous money. We want to be able to get the experience. We end up finding out when you pay in pesos, you're paying less than in American. So I don't know if that's because the restaurants, they don't know the exact exchange rate at the time, or they're just looking to get a couple of extra bucks out of you. I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna go ahead out on a limb and say, because I don't know. But at the end of the day, if you pay in pesos for something, you're getting a better deal. So I highly recommend, if anybody wants to come here, open up a Charles Schwab account. I ended up finding out about Charles Schwab because I follow this. If you're watching this video, likely you've heard of them, Tangerine Travels. I'll link them up in the description. They're fantastic. And for traveling, especially around Mexico and stuff, they are go-to. They're like #1 on YouTube as far as, like, you know, quality information. I highly recommend you check them out. They recommend, if you ever travel, open up a Charles Schwab account. I did. Charles Schwab, open up one of their accounts. They give you no ATM fees wherever you are. Doesn't matter, anywhere in the world, whether you're in your own country, whether you're in Mexico, whether you're in, you know, it doesn't matter. No ATM fees at all, no type of fees for transferring money. So when we got here, we had the Schwab account. Guys, Schwab went out of their way on a holiday weekend, right? July 4th, when Capital One was closed, and me and my wife had a little problem with money. Capital One wasn't there for us, but Schwab was there for us. I'm so glad I opened up my account. Guys, I'm gonna be moving all my money from Capital One to Schwab because of the amount of quality service that they showed me when me and my wife needed their help, because we had some money issues as far as transaction goes. They were there for us, 100%. Capital One was closed because it was 4th of July weekend. These people took their time. They got me my money because they fixed the issue that we were having. Guys, they did what they had to do, and I couldn't be more grateful. So I highly recommend opening a Charles Schwab account. I'm not, you know, endorsed by them or anything. I don't get anything for this. I'm just trying to give you guys some information that was helpful to me. And once you do that, you can go to any ATM and you can take out, at least over here in Cabo where we are, take it out American money or pesos. Now, I would recommend going to a reputable bank like HSBC. That's where we went when we wanted to take money out. I don't recommend using ATMs that are just, you know, out there, because you don't know if they've been tampered with. That's a problem that you'll have to worry about, whether you're in the US, whether you're here. Anyway, guys, I hope this video was helpful. I know it was kind of scattered. I'm not a professional at these videos. This is a bodybuilding channel. You know what I'm saying? But since I'm here and I'm out getting my steps, I have 4,229 steps for today, and I want to get at least 10,000 minimum. While I'm walking, I figured I'd give you guys a little insight as to what I'm doing, what I'm up to, and how all things are going by me, and give you guys a little insight in case you want to take a trip here. If you have any questions that I can answer regarding, Cabo or anything like that, let me know, and I would be more than happy to answer. And hopefully this video didn't bore anybody to death, considering the fact that I'm not all that great with travel videos. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great day. Talk to you soon.